This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user She Knows I Am Married. I'm male 40, have a coworker, female 24, who persistently hits on me and asks me out, despite knowing that I'm married. At first I thought nothing of it. We bonded over shared interests in movies, TV shows, and gaming, and our conversations flowed effortlessly. I assumed it was nothing more than a friendly connection. Then a coworker pointed something out, how she seemed unusually focused on me. Even in group settings when others were talking, her attention remained locked on me. I dismissed it. I'm an average-looking guy, overweight even. There was no way she was actually interested in me, right? But then things escalated. I learned she had been deliberately ensuring that we sat together in meetings, going as far as making special requests for seating arrangements. And then came Monday. She confessed. Out of nowhere, she admitted to having feelings for me and asked if I would consider a relationship with her. I was floored. My jaw literally dropped. I stammered, "You do know I'm married, right?" She just laughed. Then she said, "Yeah, I do. I just don't know if you're happy, or if you'd be interested. But I really like you." I repeated, "You know I'm married, right?" That's when she finally got the message. I made it crystal clear, I am happily married. I have zero interest in being unfaithful to my wife. She apologized, got up, and abruptly left work. The next day she avoided me entirely. Skipped a meeting. I didn't invite her to lunch like I usually would. And now, things are awkward. We don't have to interact for work, but I still see her. The tension is unbearable. So now I'm stuck with two dilemmas. How do I handle this at work? Should I distance myself completely or try to keep things civil? What the hell do I tell my wife? She has met this woman once, briefly, when she stopped by my office to drop off my forgotten lunch. My wife will be furious and I don't know if she'll be mad at me, at my coworker, or both. To be clear, nothing happened and nothing will ever happen. I love my wife and my marriage. But I'm lost on what to do next. What would you do? The overwhelming consensus? Tell my wife everything. Every comment, every piece of advice pointed in the same direction. Be upfront, be honest, and leave no room for doubt. If I don't tell her and she finds out later, I'll be caught in a lie by omission. And that would be worse than the situation itself. One commenter put it bluntly. If your wife trusts you, she will be on your side. But if you keep this from her and she finds out another way, it will destroy that trust. The more I thought about it, the more I knew they were right. I had to tell her. Then there was the question of work. One commenter, throw_me_away_102017, had a strong stance. Avoid her at all costs. But if she tries again, report her for sexual harassment. That's what this is. Another, Cheddarcakes, had a different take. She got the wrong impression. You bonded, she thought you might be unhappy, and well, let's be real, nobody respects marriage anymore. Just tell your wife the truth word for word. If she finds out later from someone else, it'll look way worse for you. He also had a suggestion for handling my coworker. Go up to her and say, "Well, this is awkward. Where do we go from here?" Agree to be civil and move on. She's probably embarrassed. But your friendship? It's done. And then an unexpected perspective, coastal_kid_92, who admitted she had been the 24-year-old hitting on an older, married coworker. She probably misread the situation. I know because I've been in her shoes. When you're in your mid-20s, people in their 40s and 50s aren't just authority figures anymore. They're colleagues, friends, even romantic possibilities. She might have just gotten caught up in that shift in perspective. Made me pause. Had I unintentionally led her on? Had my friendliness been misinterpreted as interest? Now I had two things to do. Talk to my wife. Before she heard it from anyone else. Talk to my coworker. Set boundaries. Clear the air. Keep work from becoming unbearable. But as I sat there rehearsing my words, one question gnawed at me. Would honesty be enough? The weight of the situation pressed down on me. I couldn't focus. Couldn't think. All week, my mind kept circling back to the same question. What did I do to make her think this was okay? I talked about my wife all the time. Never once badmouthed her. Mentioned our weekend plans. Our dinners. Our life together. So why would my coworker believe I'd be open to cheating? Did she just assume all men are unfaithful? The advice from the online community was clear. Tell my wife. If I waited and she found out later, it would be worse. Set boundaries at work. No more lunches. Keep my distance. Be honest but careful. One commenter even suggested not telling my wife that my coworker asked if I was happily married. But that felt like a lie. I knew one thing for sure, I would tell my wife. The only question was when. We had a weekend getaway planned, something we'd been looking forward to for weeks. Telling her before the trip could ruin it, but telling her after might feel like I'd been hiding something. And what about work? She worked in HR. Reporting her wasn't out of the question, but I doubted she'd try anything drastic. I wasn't planning on making a formal complaint, yet. But I might have an informal conversation with someone just to have it on record. Just in case. The whole situation made me question everything. I had always been bad at picking up signals from women. Hell, my wife had to spell it out for me when we first got together. Was this just another case of me missing the signs? Had I accidentally given the wrong impression? One thing was clear. This wasn't going away on its own. Friday evening, my wife walked through the door. I took a deep breath. I need to talk to you. I hesitated for a moment. This conversation could change everything. But I couldn't hold it in anymore. So I told her everything. And as expected, she was furious. By the time the weekend trip came around, I had already laid everything on the table. My wife was furious, less at me, more at the woman who crossed the line. But I understood why she was upset with me too. Had I unknowingly encouraged this? Had I been too friendly, too open? These thoughts haunted me, but the answer was always the same. I never gave her a reason to believe I was anything but a faithful husband. Even though my wife and I moved past the anger, she made one thing crystal clear. That friendship was over. And honestly, I had already made peace with that. So when I went back to work, I had one last conversation with my now ex-friend. Look, I was shocked when you asked me that. And after that, I was angry, because a real friend wouldn't do something that could destroy my marriage. She teared up, apologized over and over. But I stood my ground. I told her I was reporting what happened to HR, not to get her in trouble, but to protect myself in case things ever escalated. She seemed hurt that I'd even consider the possibility of her retaliating, but I reminded her. Last week, I didn't think you'd ask me to cheat either. From that point on, we became strangers. No more casual conversations. No more lunches. She went back to sitting across the room in meetings, and I didn't care to bridge the gap. A few coworkers noticed the shift, asked if something was wrong. My response? It's personal. Please drop it. And thankfully they did. Losing a friend hurt. I won't lie about that. But some losses are necessary. And this was one of them. Lessons from this story. At the end of the day, this isn't just a story about a workplace crush gone wrong. It's about boundaries, about trust, and about the choices we make to protect what truly matters. If there's one lesson to take away, it's this. Honesty and transparency will always be your strongest armor. Whether in relationships, friendships, or work life, setting clear boundaries isn't just about protecting yourself. It's about respecting the people you care about. If you ever find yourself in a situation where someone crosses the line, don't ignore it. Address it. Stand firm. And always choose the path that leads to integrity. Does this story resonate with you? Have you ever been in a situation where someone misinterpreted your intentions? How did you handle it? Let's talk in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life stories that keep you thinking. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.